recently drove the updated 2022 BMW X3 and were instantly reminded what an excellent car it is. But if you too are wowed by the dynamic abilities of this car and don't really care much about the practical aspects of it, then the BMW X4 is likely to entice you more. And the BMW X4 shares not only the showroom space but also the platform and the underpinnings with the X3. So it was only natural that an updated X4 was about to come, close on the heels of the updated X3. And that new X4, that very X4 is what we are driving right now. And boy, it looks gorgeous. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I am Rohit Paradkar, and before I tell you more about the X4, please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And at the end of it, if you do like the review, please give us that like button and also consider sharing this video with your friends and family. They've brought it up to speed with the current design language at BMW, meaning it gets a sleeker looking front end with revised headlights that now have a narrower LED signature. In fact, all the lighting elements are LED, and unlike the controversial taillights of the new X3, the X4's updated styling is bound to find a wider appreciation. The coupe SUV form in itself is a polarizing body style, but if you appreciate it, the X4 is one of the best iterations out there, and the new one with its sharper styling cues is better still. The X4 has the same drag coefficient as the X3, 0.29 CD, but there is a noticeable difference in the way the front has been designed on both the siblings. If you remember, I had said with the X3 review that I would prefer an all-black grille, especially on BMW SUVs that are draped in this gorgeous grey color. And looks like this X4 was pegged just for me, but it isn't. Instead, it is because this is the limited dark shadow edition, which also gets blacked out wheels, window lining, gills and bumper garnish. But that grille, I simply love it. That mesh pattern looks good, and so do the active flaps behind it. We are used to seeing vertical slats on BMW kidneys, but everything that we have been used to seeing on BMWs for the last couple of decades has become far too common now, and that lack of visual novelty has been hurting BMW for a while. So that new pattern on the grille, it's a welcome change. It's derived from the BMW M4, the new one, and on a more proportionate grille size like this one, it does look good. What also looks great is the treatment of the rear with the sinister black diffuser flanked by the new sporty exhaust tips that come from the M division. Oh, and did I mention the red brake calipers? Guess I should stop now. Or maybe not. I'm also digging this all-black cabin layout. I think it looks wonderful, and the way they've achieved these very subtle red accents with the stitching, I think that looks quite good too. I would have loved to pair that with red ambient lighting as well, but those colors are to go with the theme used on these displays. Speaking of displays, the infotainment screen is now 12.3 inch. Yes, you guessed it right, it's the same one from the new X3. The instrument cluster is all digital too, also from the X3 and 12.3 inch again. If I had to go nitpicking, I would have liked these displays to show me the same car that I'm driving, you know, with the black grille and the black wheels, etc. Not the one with the chrome grille and the chrome wheels. I would also like it to show me this car in a 360-degree format when I'm reversing or parking, but it only gets a reversing camera, not a 360-degree camera. But it does have a new park assist system in case you use that sort of a thing. These screens, along with the intelligently laid out switchgear, are controls that don't need a steep learning curve. So the user interface and ergonomics are spot on, as before. The storage space, the 525-litre boot volume and the overall seating space remain unchanged too, meaning that most rear seat occupants shorter than 6 feet should do just fine even with the receding roofline of this coupe SUV. For the new BMW X3, I had recommended the petrol engine, but for the X4, I would recommend the diesel. For starters, this xDrive 30D is a 6-cylinder configuration, so it sounds really good. BMW have somehow managed to get rid of all the typical diesel clatter, and I like that refinement. It redlines at a relatively higher 5000 RPM, and it also sounds quite good getting there. Of course, it's not the same kind of sound that we've got from the BMW 30i models of the past, but it's a nice sounding engine. Also, it doesn't rev as quickly as a petrol BMW engine, but it just feels quite rapid right from the get-go, and that's a very good thing. 5.8 seconds claimed, not 200. Not bad for a diesel, yeah? What's even better is the roll-on acceleration, courtesy of the 620 Newton meters of torque that is made available on tap by the 8-speed automatic transmission. All this power and torque goes down to the wheels in a rear bias fashion via the BMW xDrive all-wheel drive system. And BMW says that this system is now more efficient and also lighter. If you think the chassis control or the body control of the X3 is tight, wait till you drive the X4. Even this one has adaptive suspension, of course, but like everything else in this car, even the suspension is tuned to have an elevated sense of sportiness to it compared to the X3. Like the X3's optional wheels, the X4 rolls on standard 20 inches, but the ride quality is surprisingly good. Of course, you would have to be more careful on the rougher sections of the road to protect these rims, but on the usual bad roads or poor road conditions or undulated roads that most of India will throw at this car, the comfort mode actually works quite well, and you won't really have that bone-jarring ride which you otherwise do expect from a car of this order. The progressive steering setup complements the sporty intent well too, but the brake feels a tad too soft even in the sport mode. Save for a bit more bite and feedback, the X4 doesn't leave me wanting for anything else. It is truly the sporty alternative to the wonderful X3. And if I had to choose between the two, this would be the one, but maybe in a blue and not a grey. Believe it or not, but the coupe SUV body style has actually taken off quite well even in a market like India. And the X4 in particular, it's actually tasted quite a bit of success. It is one of those cars which are an easy choice for a lot of people out there who are looking at adding one more premium car to their garage. So these kind of people probably don't need that additional practicality that something like the X3 would offer. So for the sportier styling, the sportier drive, the enthusiastic drive that this car offers, the X4 has been received quite well. So an updated X4 with better looks, better equipment, I think it's a good idea after all.